Hey, and welcome back, Yeshua lovers. I've got two Alef Tav witnesses of Yeshua that I want to show you. If I can have a couple of minutes of your time. I am in Genesis chapter 30. The Alef Tavs are in verse 29, but let's read the English starting in verse 27, just so you'll know what's going on. And Laban said to him being Jacob, "Please stay if I have found favor in your eyes, for I have learned by experience that Yahovah has blessed me for your sake." Then he said, "Name me your wages, and I will give it." So he said to him, and he in this verse is Jacob, "You know Aleph and Tav." And he said, "Alav, Elav, Ata, Yadata, you know Aleph and Tav." Um, where was I? Oh, you know how I have served you, and Aleph and Tav, how your livestock has been with me. For what you had before me was little, and it has increased to a great amount. Yahovah has blessed you since my coming. And now, when shall I also provide for my own house? So Jacob says to Laban, "You know, Aleph and Tav, that, oh, how I have served you, Avdati, Avadtiha, Avadtiha." I'm so bad about that. Um, you know how I've served you, and Aleph and Tav, how I have, or how your livestock, Hayaz was, your livestock has been with me, Et, which is Aleph and Tav with a Yod, but this one is translatable, so don't worry, I'm not going to start videos on ETs. But, if you will, that could be Aleph and Tav, Yeshua with a closed hand, as in possession of something, you know, holding on to something. But anyway, this Aleph and Tav is next to Avadtiha, how I have served you. Aleph and Tav, how I have served you. Now, wasn't Yeshua, when he came this first time, the servant? Look at this verse in Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53, verse 11. "He shall see the labor of his soul, and be satisfied by his knowledge. My righteous servant shall justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities." So, Yeshua is a servant, and he refers to himself. Well, he says he came to serve. Let's look at that verse. Alright, I'm in Matthew chapter 20, and I'll begin in 24 just to give it some context. "And when the 10 heard it, they were greatly displeased with the two brothers. But Yeshua called them to himself and said, You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you. But whoever desires to become great among you, let him be your servant. And whoever desires to be first among you, let him be your slave, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many." So he considers himself, and he was a servant to us all, really. So back to where we were. Okay, now we're back to Genesis chapter 30. And so let's look at this other Aleph Tav here. It is a standalone Aleph Tav with a Vav in front of it, which, as I've said before, kind of hints at the second coming of Yeshua. And so that one says, Ve'et Yeshua, how your livestock has been with me. Haya is was. Miknaha. Miknaha? Yeah. Which is, I had to look that one up because I just wasn't sure how Aleph Tav Yeshua could. I didn't know how to tie Yeshua with livestock, so I looked it up. So let's look at Blue Letter Bible. All right, got situated here. So you go to blueletterbible.org and you look up Genesis 30:29, and your verse comes up. For those who are kind of new to my channel, whatever. So then, once you get there, then you would click on Genesis 30:29, the verse right here, and then your interlinear will come up. So you see, yep, it's the same verse. Well, you'd have to speak Hebrew to know that, but anyway, and you just scroll down till you find that word for livestock, or in this case it says thy cattle. So you click on this 4735 number, Mikneh, and you go down and you would see that it is a masculine noun. The root word is kana, which means to buy. In modern Hebrew, it means to buy. Even. So we click on Show Strong's Info. Something bought, property, but only livestock. Abstractly, acquisition, cattle, flock, herd, possession, purchase, substance. So it's a possession. And if you want, you can go through here and do further, deeper research on this word. A lot of times I like to go to the root just to see what comes up. Kana is a verb. It's the primitive root. And if we hit Show Strong's Information, it says to erect, create, to procure, especially by purchase, by implication to own, teach, to keep cattle, get, provoke to jealousy, possess or possessor, purchase, recover, redeem, surely, verily. So we can see that in this verse, Jacob is talking about Laban's possessions of cattle, flocks, etc. You know how I have served you, and how your livestock, or what Laban owned, possessed, etc. So back to our Bible, and tying it all together, we can see that when Yeshua comes back, that he will possess his flocks, his sheep. Ito, something he is holding in his hand, per se. Boy, I just really, I have such a hard time explaining things. It's in my head. I just don't know how to get it out to where people can understand what I'm thinking. But anyway, there's a couple of verses that deal with Yeshua buying us with his blood, uh, so that it's like describing that we are his possession, right? We are the sheep of his field and the flock of his pasture. You know, I wanted to show you this too. I'm still in Genesis 30, but it continues and says, "And Jacob said to Laban, that is, you shall not give me anything. If you will do this thing for me, I will again feed you and keep your flocks. Let me pass through all your flock today, removing from there all the speckled and spotted sheep, and all the brown ones among the lambs, and the spotted and speckled among the goats. And these shall be my wages." But aren't we all of us in this, who are returning back to the Father, aren't we all speckled and spotted and brown? You know, not to say that uh, not to say that we're defective or anything, but it seems that all of us are speckled and spotted. You know, we have character. But anyway, let me show you some verses too that show that we are redeemed.